I wonder if we could take you back to the kind of, I guess, a key moment in your life, that boating accident when you were 16. And obviously you lost a leg in that, but it could have been a lot worse. Tell us about that accident.
Right. Well, I grew up, I was always very sporty, and when I was 12, I settled on rugby. And it was my life's dream to play internationally. And I was planning on going back to New Zealand, which was actually where I was born, and things were looking really good. And then when I was 16, one weekend, everything just changed. I was up at a friend's cottage, and we had a wonderful time, and we decided to go out tubing, which is where you attach a big inner tube to the back of a boat, and you go off at crazy speeds, and the point is to flip you off the tube, obviously. And so I had fallen off, and I was waiting in the water, and because they were just going to come back and pick me up. And I can remember as I was looking across the water and thinking, gosh, what a beautiful day. I looked back at the boat, and I realized that, he's coming way too fast, like he doesn't see me. And you just switch into survival mode, and you just start assessing your options. And I thought, well, if I swim to either side, I don't have enough time, I'm going to still get caught in the wake, and all you're thinking is you've got to miss those propellers. And I was a great swimmer. I thought, I'm just going to surface dive, I'll get down far enough, and it'll be fine. But I totally forgot I had a life jacket on. So unfortunately at that point, there isn't a lot you can do, and I just remember seeing the front of the boat and just hoping, for the best, really. And then I surfaced again, and to be honest, I thought everything was fine. Everyone on the boat was, kind of freaking out, and I was like, guys, I'm fine. That was really lucky. But then I realized that all of the water around me was completely red. And fortunately, there was a lifeguard on the boat, and he came out and got me. But that was when I saw the extent of the injuries. I'd had severe lacerations across my lower back and to my right leg. And I could see it in everyone's face that, this wasn't good. There's too much blood, and we were hours away from the nearest half-decent hospital. And I remember they just took me to the local clinic, and they couldn't do much. And at that point, my parents had come up, and I remember the doctor sending them in, and I was furious because I knew what he was doing. He sent them in to say goodbye, and I wasn't ready, and I was scared.
Of course.
And I think probably what scared me the most was that, I had been really fortunate. I grew up in a private Christian school. I knew the Bible. I can tell you all the books. Memorized a lot of verses. I could debate a bit of theology with you. But I didn't love the Lord. I wasn't really interested in his plan for my life, unless it happened to coincide with mine. And I knew in that moment that if I had died, I wasn't going to heaven. And I was ashamed. I just felt like I hadn't really done anything of significance with my life at that point. And that was the first time that I really prayed for a second chance, just to do things better. And God answered that prayer. And I was so thankful and so excited for this new relationship I was going to have with God, and thinking, things are going to be amazing. And then
you're amazing.
And then my mom walked into the recovery room, and I just didn't really understand. She was so sad. And she walked over and said, Stephanie, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but the doctors did everything they could to save your leg, but unfortunately they had to amputate. You no longer have all of your right leg. And I was absolutely devastated. It was so strange, because on the one hand, I was so excited and so thankful to still be alive. And then at the same time, I wasn't really sure that I wanted to experience life as an amputee. I didn't want to have to give up on my dream. I didn't know what kind of life I was still gonna have. And it was just a moment of, it was so strange to be, on the one hand, just so completely devastated, and then on the other hand, just having incredible peace about it, and just knowing that things were going to work out. I didn't know how, but they were going to work out.
So you didn't give up on your dreams, and you've become an Olympian. Just tell me how you kind of kept faith in yourself and in God, and how you overcame the kind of why me questions that must have been rushing around to get to eventually realizing your dream.
You know, it's really, I think God has this amazing way of just using people in your everyday life. You know, it wasn't this hugely spiritual thing. It was actually a really aggressive confrontation from a nurse who, I remember the moment, it was a week after the accident. She came into my room and she had breakfast and she said, you know, time to get up and eat. And I just kind of looked at her and said, you know, I just don't really feel like eating today. And she said, fine, why don't you get up and I'll help you bathe. And I just said, you know, I just don't really feel like doing that either. And the truth was, I just didn't feel like doing anything at that point. And the next thing I knew, she slammed my breakfast tray on my bed, looked me in the eye, and said, Stephanie, that's enough. Your family is out there devastated. You need to smile and let them know that you're okay. There is a 12-year-old girl in the ward below you who lost both of her feet, and she can still smile. What's your problem? And I mean, I was shocked. I was like, you know, I'm a patient, and I'm sad, and I'm sick. But, you know, she was the first person that actually expected something better from me than moping, and that felt really great. But the thing was, she read me exactly right. She knew that I was a very competitive person, and it really bothered me that a 12-year-old could cope better than me. And I thought, well, that's it. I'm going to cope better. And that later transformed to, well, you know what? I'm going to walk better than anyone else that I've seen. And then I'm going to run better than anyone else. But the best part of the story is she totally made the whole thing up. There was no 12-year-old girl. And so she helped me to realize that, you know what, I may have lost a limb, but I didn't change who I was as a person. Yeah. You know, it didn't change the fact that I was still driven and competitive. I just needed to channel it in a different way. And I mean, the truth is, I could have lost every limb in that accident, and I still would have found a way to be involved in sport. Amazing,
amazing. I know that you have different prosthetics for different parts of life. Tell us what's etched on your running prosthetic.
Sure, so on the back of my running prosthetic, it's a quote from Aristotle, and it says, "You are what you repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit." And it's just something that I really believe in every aspect of your life. I think the minute you start, you know, accepting the first mediocre performance from yourself, it just gets easier to accept another one and another one. And I just always want to give my best and do my best and just try my hardest, no matter what it is.
And how many days till you compete?
23.
Well, we wish you all the best. God bless you. It's fabulous.
Thank you.